You are sitting in a sterile conference room. 3 interviewers are staring you down. They hand you a hypothetical scenario. How would you improve a massive, globally recognized app like Google Maps? The immediate pressure triggers a reflex. You blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. Maybe you suggest a social feed, copying a competitor's group feature, or adding a random YouTube integration. It feels like you are showing product vision. But this reflex is exactly how companies fall into the feature factory trap. Whole engineering teams spend years writing code, designing beautiful interfaces, and launching updates that absolutely no one ends up using. Our brains are naturally wired to build. When presented with a blank slate, the human mind skips right past the difficult work of defining a problem and jumps straight to illuminating a shiny new solution. The most effective product managers operate differently. Before they ever write a product requirements document, they act as frontline investigators, observing how people actually behave and searching for areas of intense human friction. They practice a discipline known as problem-first discovery. This is the conscious, active effort to suppress the urge to build, forcing a pause to analyze the user's environment. To do this, they ask 3 specific questions. Exactly who is the target persona? What specific task is annoying or blocking them? And what is the quantifiable cost of that annoyance in their daily life? A successful product does not begin with a clever idea in a vacuum. It begins by rewiring your approach to thoroughly research and validate a proven problem. Consider a classic interview design challenge. How do you improve the everyday coffee mug? A novice immediately starts stacking features onto the ceramic. They might suggest building in a Bluetooth speaker, embedding a digital thermometer, or adding Wi-Fi connectivity to track fluid intake. An experienced product manager steps away from the physical object. They ask why someone pours a hot drink in the first place, and they look at the environmental friction the user faces while sitting at their desk for an hour. The observation reveals a distinct, highly common issue. Coffee gets cold too quickly while the user is working. The logical, non-gimmicky solution to that specific friction is simply adding an effective insulation layer. By taking the time to understand the actual goal of keeping a beverage hot, you avoid spending engineering hours on a connected smart mug that is radically disconnected from what the market actually needs. This graphic shows a framework for filtering market noise. Data from sales, support, and users pour into the wide end of this funnel. As inputs move to the center, the first step is isolating the specific persona to define exactly whose workflow is disrupted. Next, you isolate the exact task causing the bottleneck. You look for the specific moment in their day where they have to resort to a manual workaround or completely stop what they are doing. This screen shows the necessity of quantifying pain. Here, friction is measured precisely, costing 8 hours per week, confirming the customer would pay for a solution. If an annoyance isn't measured in lost time or money, it rarely clears the threshold of a problem worth solving. The final step is evaluating the trade-offs of your proposed fix. You have to ensure that patching this particular bottleneck doesn't introduce a new, even more frustrating hurdle downstream for the user. Applying this rigorous framework takes product development out around of guessing what people might want and grounds it in mathematically proving what they actually need. Right now, the tech industry is caught in a solution-first fallacy, rapidly rushing to integrate artificial intelligence across every platform without a clear use case. In interviews, candidates frequently try to impress panels by instantly proposing a large language model or machine learning system. A large language model, or LLM, is an AI algorithm trained on massive datasets to understand and generate human language. Suggesting it before defining the problem is a massive red flag. An elite product manager approaches this backward. They look for a massive data silo issue or a highly repetitive administrative task. They calculate the cost of that inefficiency, and then they deploy machine learning only because it is the uniquely correct tool to process that specific data. To apply this in your own work, start by forcing yourself to physically write down the core user problem. Do this before you allow yourself to draft a single feature idea or interface sketch. Second, take that written problem statement and validate it. Speak with at least 3 potential users to confirm they actually experience this friction before your team writes a single line of code. Third, when you are in a product interview, explicitly voice your structure. Tell the interviewer clearly that you are going to define the user's goals and constraints first, before you offer any potential solutions. Great product managers succeed because they are empathetic problem finders. When you rigorously define, measure, and validate the friction a user is experiencing, the correct solution ultimately builds itself.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like.